Hello and welcome back to Glorious Reacts. Before we begin, I would like to introduce ourselves. I am Arnold, your friend from Down Under, and I am joined by the guys. The thriller from Manila, Joel. Say hi, Joel.
What up, what up?
And our very own Singapore Sling, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Hello.
We once again join the watcher as he looks through the multiverse at key events throughout the MCU that we've gotten very familiar with, but with a significant difference, giving us variant stories that show us a possible answer to the titular question, what if? It's a horrible question in this episode, but so we'll wait and see. Before we continue, I would like to inform you, dear audience, that this is not a spoiler-free show, and that we will be talking directly about events that occurred in today's episode, most of which will be revealing key story elements. If you have not watched this episode, or any episodes of What If, you have one episode left to catch up. And you would like to remain unspoiled, please stop here and come back once you've watched the show, because anything we say now will spoil the entire series. So without further ado, Paul will be leading us through the recap. So Paul,
I will.
recap.
Before I start, isn't saying that watching this it will spoil the rest of the season a spoiler in itself?
That is true, but too late. They're already still watching. They're still around.
Anyway, so what if Ultron won? So our episode starts with our episode opens with Black Widow and Hawkeye taking down some Ultron drones before they have a chance to reconnect to the hive mind. So the reason why I paused there, because in my notes I wrote down Uatu starts by saying that this particular story breaks his heart.
Oh,
so it's like,
yes, indeed. That is
okay,
actually a very interesting note.
He mentioned that. Okay, back to the recap. So we discover that both Natasha and Clint are actually in Russia in search of a way to defeat Ultron. Then we go into a flashback. We discover that in this world, Ultron actually got his wish and was able to transfer his consciousness into the android body, the perfect body as we refer to it. We couldn't call it Vision's body because Vision's not inside.
There's no vision in this one.
There's no Vision inside. He beats the Avengers, then nukes the Earth, and then when he has already conquered the Earth and he has silenced the Earth, Thanos appears out of nowhere. But before he can do anything, Ultravision cuts him in half. Ala Kung Lao. Ala Kung Lao. He peels like a banana. He peels like a banana. Ultron then affixes the Infinity Gems that fall into himself, and he basically equips it. And then he levels up like a Super Saiyan. Then, because of the Infinity Gems, he discovers that there are actually worlds. There are other worlds that he can silence. So he goes off into space to start silencing these worlds. We see a montage of worlds he goes to, destroys, but we end up in Xandar, the last world. He destroys it. He beats Captain Marvel, destroys it, and then finally says that he's fulfilled his objective and the world is silenced. But we hear Uatu talking, and then we see Ultravision. I'll call him Ultron. It's very confusing. We see Ultron realize that someone is actually talking behind him. Yeah. He turns around, and then he actually senses the Watcher. So he now has an idea of another being watching him. So we cut back to Natasha and Clint, and we see them enter a KGB archive. So they're trying to look for a way to dispatch Ultron and the hive mind. They're looking through the files, and we have Clint, who's already losing hope, and Natasha, who is a little bit, perky and upbeat with the whole thing, she even sees a shield with her colors and kind of jokingly asks Clint how it looks on her. And then we see Uatu hovering over them, because Uatu knows that in this archive there is a way. The solution is here. And so we have Clint looking through the archives, and Natasha trying to give him a pep talk. Eventually, they find the archive. They find what they're looking for, and what they're looking for is Arnim Zola, which is very surprising. So
Blast from
the
the past.
couple, Natasha and Clint, they travel to Siberia, the ex-Hydra base, and then they reactivate Arnim Zola, the last backup of Arnim Zola, and ask him for his help to defeat Ultron. They call the Ultron drone. So basically, they call the Avenger Tower and ask for pizza. The Ultron drones come in. Hawkeye shoots one of them. Arnim Zola downloads his consciousness into the drone, and they try to hack into the hive mind, which he fails to do. The reason being, we discover, is because Ultron, while they're all connected, Ultron is actually not in this universe. We got back to Uatu, who is actually at this moment in time fighting Ultron, and their fighting brings them all over multiple universes. We even see President Steve Rogers getting sworn into the office, and then eventually Ultron gets the better of him, and he escapes. He runs away from the fight, and then we see him in a familiar setting. Camera zooms out, and we see him with Strange Supreme, who actually teases him that he actually needs his help. So he asks, Uatu asks, "Are you gonna make me say it?" And then Strange, "Yeah, of course."
Of course.
And then he says, "I think I need your help." And then cut.
There you go.
The end.
Wow. It's a lot of twists and turns actually in this episode. And it's actually the one question I was very curious about it, but it's the one question I did not want answered more theme wise, as in story wise, because I know it was going to be horrible considering what we know of Ultron from the Age of Ultron movie. But before I go deeper into what I thought, let us start off with Joel's likes. So start us off, Joel.
Okay, sure. Well, first thing I've got to say is I love Ultravision. I love the design. I love the fact that I coined him. I called him Ultravision. And then New Rockstars also called him.
Yeah, well, look
That's
at
pretty
that.
cool.
You're such an influencer.
Yeah, I'm such an influencer, you know. They always come up with their recaps like a couple of days after they probably watched our recap. And then, yeah, you know.
That's true. That's true. Okay, there you go.
So yeah, so that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think, because I don't know if you noticed, but the design of Ultravision actually looked as if he was a medieval knight.
Yes.
Yes.
With the
visor going down,
with a cape, and even with a lance.
Yeah.
Even his weapon looked like it was for a knight. So I was thinking, is there a parallel between him and, say, for example, a Don Quixote type of character?
Oh yeah. Maybe.
That tries to seek to kill the giants.
Yes.
But it causes his madness, quote unquote.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
The
He's always got that
unattainable goal, or I guess not
to
unattainable.
reach the unreachable star. Because that is from that musical.
I was trying to avoid
that musical. Yeah.
Sure. Yes. Well done.
Yeah, it's from The Man of La Mancha. So yeah, I was trying to see, and I think that there was. It's just that he doesn't have a Sancho
No.
Panza or Sancho. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that
There's no
so yeah,
foil
it was,
to remind him.
Yeah, it was, and that's probably why he kept on going. Right? That's why your Ultravision kept on going.
The difference, though, with Don Quixote, for example, character is obviously he's human, and there's a conscience side of him. I don't think there would be any discussing with with that very, very cold, calculating logic that is Ultron, which is why I was very, very afraid of actually trying to answer this, or trying to figure out what the answer to this question would be, this what if would be, because it seemed very, very one track. We were pretty certain that given the opportunity, Ultron would do exactly what he did, which is to nuke the world so that
Like
it's
slice Thanos into.
well. That one was
so
something
like,
I did not
what?
expect.
How did
We
that
can talk
happen?
about that later.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so yeah. So I love, but the design of Ultravision,
Yeah.
the voice. I'll go into that later.
We will all go into that
Yeah, I
later.
think all of us noted that.
Yep.
But yeah, but the design and his motivations, I really like the character. Yeah, for me, and the fact that it's Ultron, because Ultron is really a recurring villain, while all of the villains in Marvel comics are mostly recurring. He's one of the most recurring because he never dies. He can always transfer his
That's
consciousness
true.
to something else,
Yeah.
and he always comes back.
He's a perennial problem of the Avengers in the comics.
Yes, yes. So yeah, they were able to bring that in, and I like the fact that he's there and that he's a super bad, and the big bad is not Thanos. I really like that. It would have been a cop out if Thanos had been the big bad.
Therefore, he
yes.
was peeled like a banana instead.
Yes, yes, and I like that. And then I also like the fact that the hope in that universe wasn't in metahumans, but the hope is in the most human of all the Avengers.
Yep.
You've got Black Widow and Clint Barton.
And the dude with the bow and arrow.
Although Clint Barton is a little less of a human because he lost his arm.
I did not see.
Even Nat.
I was
Even Nat's
wondering
arm
about
is different.
Nat.
Oh.
Was that
No.
actually
No. Was it
cybernetic?
Nope. She had armor on, but she wasn't
Okay,
cybernetic.
okay. I thought the initial action scene she had a cybernetic arm.
I actually
Yeah,
thought her hand.
Yeah,
was.
your hand. Yeah, because on the bike, on the
But
bike.
then again, maybe it's more of just
Maybe it's a glove.
like special
Yeah.
armor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, but I like the fact that it's them.
Yeah.
It's not your Captain America. It's not your Iron Man. It's really the most human of them all, who to
Yes.
go up against the epitome of artificial intelligence. So it really shows the divide. It's really cool. It hasn't quite delivered yet on the hope.
Yep. Yep.
Because the
Still gonna happen.
episode didn't really resolve their side of it. But I like the fact that they put it there. Yeah. And this is the first time that I think that we really saw human emotion from Uatu. And I really like that, especially that part. The first time that Ultravision recognized him, it was as if he was narrating as if it was something that had happened before.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was actually at the same time.
Yeah, it was actually
At that
happening at the
time,
same time.
This is what I was curious about. Is he telling us a story that he's already seen? Because he did say that I've seen everything. I've seen what has happened in the past, what can happen in the future. So it definitely sounded like something that has happened before, and he was just continuing going on and telling his story just like before. But instead, he gets those. No, wait, what? Something happened. Actually, just wanted to highlight also that this is not the first time. I don't think this is the first time he's had a human-like reaction. He wasn't that. It was definitely was robotic all the way until the very end of episode 7.
Oh yeah,
wherein
that one.
He did react to say, "Hang on, what's that?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But this one it's really explored. We have a long sequence of events that show not only his human side but also the cool Uatu fighting against Ultravision.
I never expected. I didn't think Watchers were capable of combat.
Yeah, neither did I. But I guess that's something that they had to add for this.
Just so that
I think they are.
Jeffrey
they just
Wright
choose to be
wouldn't say,
passive.
like, I need him to be cool.
Yeah, I've always thought of them as like, they would just wave their hand and then,
You're gone.
these are not the droids you're looking for.
Exactly. The same thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know how he looked. He was very Greek, right?
Yes.
He was
Yeah,
very
he had armor.
gold
Athenian.
plate,
very
armor and all
Roman. He
that.
was the type of he was like a statesman essentially. He
Yeah.
even had his arm,
Yeah,
his
in
robe
robes.
draped over
It-
his arm and all that.
Arnold, it's basically like Leonidas, right? Uatu wearing the like that was Leonidas as the king of Sparta, and then when he put on the armor, that was Leonidas at the hot gates.
But
Gotcha.
But Leonidas actually didn't put armor. But anyway, but yeah, the difference
Well,
between Leonidas the
some
soldier
can
and
argue
Leonidas
that
the
his
statesman.
pecs and abs are armor.
We're already armor.
Yeah.
And another thing that I really like is, I mean, Toby Jones for the win, right? And then and the callback of Zola
Yes. He's back.
from Winter Soldier.
Oh my
And he's
gosh.
back at it with a webcam and monitor.
We haven't
looking
gotten
just like-
a proper. I mean, sure, Winter Soldier was a great. There was a great upset there, and discovering that Zola's still freaking alive after all this time, and is in a computer, was fantastic. But I was always still expecting more, right?
like the robot, the humanoid, because
No,
there
not
was
exactly,
a design
just-
for it.
just more of there was more of him, more of Zola to come out, right?
He was in the first Avenger, right? He was there.
He was,
Yeah, but
yes,
that's
of
Toby
course.
Jones.
We've
Like,
established the
as a human.
character as a human, and then he came back in Winter Soldier and says, "Ha ha ha,
Yes.
Hydra," because we haven't
Camp
seen,
Lehigh. Ha, ha, ha.
we haven't seen, obviously, Captain Carter's, sorry, not Captain Carter, Peggy Carter's TV series happened after the Winter Soldier, and it explored what happened in between the first Avenger and all the way until. Right
I
before there was a period
Agents of Shield.
before-
right? It crossed with Agents of Shield.
as a flashback, yes, but more what I meant is that until
No,
when
they actually had episodes where like
because the older Peggy Carter, yes.
no.
Oh,
Like because the group from Agents of Shield actually went back in time. And
I don't remember this
and-
episode. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
thought
one
it
of the
was
latter seasons where they were in the 1940s and 50s.
Right, yeah. I was just trying to remember up until when in time, as in was it during the 70s that they actually the story of Captain of Peggy Carter concludes. But anyways, doesn't matter. It's just that I was hoping that one of the things you'd see more of is Zola, because even if they've destroyed the computer in Camp Lehigh, he was digital, right?
Yeah.
There was obviously he was the type of guy who would have made backups of himself, and now this is
And
the first
that
time
is-
we've actually
yeah.
seen him.
Yeah, we did get the confirmation that he did have a lot of backups. And yeah, I just like the fact that we're still. I'm still holding out for that actual robot
Version of
look,
him,
because we did see the design.
Yeah.
It did show up as like as a design in one of the movies.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and I really like that. I also like the flip of the end game sacrifice.
Mm. Yes.
They purposely did that there. They put it there. And
There's
then,
this long pause. Great art
Yeah.
too.
yeah. The
That sequence is nice.
it was cute. Yeah, especially and yeah, I'm going back to it, but yeah, Uatu fighting against Ultravision, that was a huge. Whoa, he can do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, mostly because of that, because of the fact that we think that he's just this passive guy who never really does anything, and then all of a sudden he's got power bracelets. And he's
not
got,
only that, he's got armor, for goodness sake.
yeah, and he can like put out an AT field of some sort.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, so he's cool. He's apparently really cool.
He's very cool.
He's very strong.
He's very strong. And he has a very strong sense of duty to follow his oath. Being able to watch an entire universe get destroyed in the case of Strange Supreme. But in this case, he was this close to actually interfering at the point in time that they were actually looking for Armin Zola. But he was just holding back himself and just
there.
like, okay,
there.
exactly. He was really frustrated. What are you doing? Are you sitting down? You're humans. You're the epitome of hope, and all that. He was like doing all of these things. So you can clearly see. You can just imagine while he is. It's cute. One of the words that Paul actually put in his recap was he called it multiverse peephole. It's like the section and they designed it to be like that section in between the wall,
Yeah.
right?
In between.
Like like an in between world. I have no idea actually how they watch, and if they are able to watch simultaneously a lot of different things at the same time. It seems that at the very least in how how we're seeing Uatu here, it's not the case. He's watching one at a time, and then he takes watches. Oops, sorry, I turned it off. I turned off the TV. I'm hoping the big boogeyman didn't see me. But it's interesting. It looked very much like the Tesseract as it was represented in Interstellar. These corridors in between, right? Except this one was just a singular corridor. So I really also enjoyed Uatu's humanity. It makes him feel like he's a. Remember how I pointed out in a few episodes back that I thought that Uatu wasn't just a narrator, but was also a passenger in this ride along with us, and this is proof of it. That since he is, there are blind spots to what watchers know, what they can see, and it's curious to find out why this was the case, why they were not prepared, why he was not prepared for Ultravision. What could have caused this? Is this something to do with the end of Loki, for example, the ending of Loki? Is that something that they did not prepare for, right? Because I mean, how could this become the case, right?
Yeah.
How could suddenly, if they were aware of Ultravision and his capability of actually acquiring the Infinity Stones, the way he was narrating it seemed like he's seen this before.
Yeah, and then he thought that it was going to follow a certain track.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden,
It did not.
Ultravision turns around.
Says, who was that? Who's talking?
Yeah.
He becomes Deadpool for a second without the wisecracks. And then obviously Ultron having his purpose, his solid. By the end of the Xandar conquest, it was done. The world was done, and he felt sad. And this is very interesting because cold and calculating, right? No emotion. I've done my job. The work is done. Kind of like how Thanos felt when he felt relieved. Actually, Thanos felt relieved that his work was done. He goes off and starts planting whatever it was he was planting. The same thing happened to Ultron, except that he realizes that there is something more, and he becomes overjoyed, and he becomes filled with glorious purpose once again. So that was amazing. It was interesting to see how it would extend beyond. Once you're done with one universe, now you have a multiverse, and it's unending and limitless. I would also want to highlight two things. Arnim Zola was one of the things. It was just great. Like I said, I was very hopeful to see more of him. Clint's loss in this version of what happened to them was obviously different from the snap in between Infinity War and Endgame. So we don't see him turn into Ronin. But it got a similar effect. We see the impact of something beyond what a normal human is capable of handling, way down on a single person. And now he's tired. He gives up, and then he gives up at a point. But at the very least, at the very end, he takes a few of them with him. Right? It was a nice send off for Clint. It was his opportunity now to show off that, hey, if I die, I'm gonna go out cool. I'm not gonna go get myself splattered on the floor. Right? Also, Ultron and Uatu's fight sequence. There was a sequence where he was punching him through different dimensions. Different
cool.
multiverses.
Yeah.
So they were in one spot, but they were shifting through different
he was just
multiverses.
punching him on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then people would turn into
something else.
Skrulls.
I found it
into
extremely funny.
Wakandans.
I found it extremely funny, but at the same time, amazing. And then finally, we've got Strange Supreme coming back at the very end. He was like, "I knew you'd come back for me." He had this "I told you so" face with the extra tentacles and the extra eye. But
Did you also get the feeling that the Uatu continued to interact with Strange Supreme even after the episode ended, his episode ended, because it seems that they had a sort of familiarity already. Like probably Uatu probably like visited him every once in a while to check if he's still in his cage.
Well, what
if
do
he
you
hasn't
think?
like done himself in.
I think that probably what happens in the show, in the episode, when he runs away, when we find him with Strange, that's like years after. That's what I think.
Oh.
Like he's been hiding there and he's been talking to Strange. He's been telling Strange what happened. So I think not years, but there has been time in between him running away from Ultravision and him and when we see him talking to Strange. I think that's why it feels like they have
Right, there's a familiarity already.
Yeah, there's a camaraderie of sorts.
The way that it was left in when Strange Supreme's episode ended, it was like, okay, you're in jail. I don't know you. Goodbye. Right?
My theory is a bit different. We now know already that because of the power that Strange Supreme has accumulated, he has gained an awareness of the Watcher. And they actually have a brief interaction at the end of his episode, right? Episode 5. Sorry, episode 6. 4. No. Episode 4. Because 5 is zombies. 5 is zombies, 6 is party car. Oh wait, hang on, no. 5 is so 7 is Party Thor, 6 is never mind.
Anyway, in his episode.
4.
In his episode, it is 4, right? Yay!
Yeah, 4.
So I think that I'm not too sure about the span of time. That was actually a very good point. It could have happened just seconds, minutes, hours prior, or because time no longer matters. The time doesn't matter for Uatu, so you can just show up whenever. But I think that Strange at the very least was continually aware of Uatu wherever he was. That's what I think. I think he has an idea that the peephole exists, and that the peephole is there, and he has some sense of what's that? Oh, that whatever is there, and it's pretty much the Watchers. It's interesting that there were not any other Watchers shown in What If so far. I would have assumed that entire area in between the walls would be filled with Watchers, right?
Yeah,
they're all scrunched up. Now, I don't think it would be a problem. So I think I'm of the opinion that no, they did not have regular excursions together and says, "Hey, what's up? Do you wanna talk about what happened?" More of like he just continually was aware that Uatu was there. Maybe he was just shouting into the void, just, "You'll come back for me, you'll need my help." Exactly. I think it's more of that. Anyways, we'll see what kind of because he was very smug, smug, and very.
I don't really agree that he was smug. I feel like he was just teasing him, but it was more of a friendly thing.
That's why
at the end when he wanted to ask, "You're gonna make me say it, aren't you?" And it felt like Strange learned his lesson, and he's a little bit, he's
chilled down.
Yeah, he's a little bit chilled down because the way he reacted was not. He felt like the Doctor Strange in 616. Like he's good, but he's not so smug about it. Versus when he was trying to destroy the absolute
point.
Yeah.
No, but that'll be interesting. We'll see. Hopefully we'll see.
Well, we are going to see, because we did in the trailers we did see Strange Supreme with Party Thor.
I meant hopefully we'll get an understanding based on their interaction between Strange and Uatu in the last episode.
Right.
What did occur? I don't think we will, because it's just that type of show. Um, but it'll be cool if we find out, because of their banter and their discussions. Like, hey, you remember that time a couple of millennia ago when you said you'll never interact? So it could be it could have been that, and then you came back to me 500,000 years later, and you were telling me about this one particular thing. That'll be cool. But I don't know. I don't think we will. Paul, round us out with your likes.
Well, there's only a couple, but they're not. They're very niche. I get no, not niche, but they're very targeted scenes. So one of the things that I like is Natasha and the shield.
Yep.
Like her using the shield, her actually.
And I want to point out
the
that
superhero landing with the shield. Because
Exactly.
I remembered Black Widow, the movie, where Florence was complaining about why she always poses that way.
Yelena was always
Yelena, sorry, Yelena.
Florence Pugh,
So-
yes, sure, but
But the character is Yelena.
it's
Right.
Yelena.
Yelena Belova.
Yeah, so that's I like that because there's like callbacks to like the other properties.
Yeah, and then
I-
the shield was a callback.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
shield-
It's
exactly.
Red Guardians.
It's
So
Red,
Red Guardian,
Guardians.
yep.
There you go.
Red Guardian.
I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that it was Red Guardians.
Yeah, because the motif was red, silver.
Red and
Red and
white.
silver. Yeah.
Oh, red and silver.
Red
Yeah.
and silver. Yeah.
Well, it might be white, but it looked silver on the screen.
We never
so I
got a
don't-
confirmation that Red Guardian's shield is made of vibranium, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because there were lots of scenes in Wakanda. I mean, Black Panther. They never accused like another country of stealing vibranium.
But you
Yes.
never know. Claw might have sold the vibranium to the
You're
Russians.
right.
it.
Right. That could be. So that's one. I like the scene where we see the swearing in of President Steve Rogers
I did not expect that, but it was like cool. It's like, oh wow, okay.
at the background. That was really cool. And in connection to that, actually, the fight scene where like what Arnold and Joel said, the fight scene where the dimensions keep changing.
Yeah,
They were smashing through
It was
like
that type of
glass.
fight. Yeah.
It was pretty cool to see. Even the initial scene where Natasha and Clint were fighting the drones, that was pretty cool. I
Yeah.
actually, overall, the artwork here is better than the most of what we've seen before.
I still have some comments on the artwork, but I'm not gonna air them anymore because I'm tired of airing them.
Just like Clint, I am tired.
Yes, I'm tired.
Because it doesn't feel. I guess it's because of the pacing of the scenes. They don't feel like they're floating or they're slow.
Are you kidding me?
Because of fighting.
How well Clint Hawkeye was shooting from that
Yeah.
height, right? He was essentially calculating because his shots were doing a parabola,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was kind of like, it's like, wow. Is he
And they
capable
were
of-
hitting right in the head. All of them were
Exactly.
hitting.
So it's- my
That's how
goodness.
good he is. He's
Well,
Legolas.
fair enough. Yeah, no, we've just never seen it in the
Yeah.
MCU
He's the
movies.
human Legolas.
Yeah.
Also, no, he's not just Legolas. He's also Harry Potter. He's the cape of invisibility.
Yes.
And the cloak of invisibility.
He's got a
I
cloak.
love that.
It's
Rolled into
perfect.
one.
It's perfect for him.
What else? I guess the last one that I wanna point out is that scene where they're in the KGB archives and Uatu was like, "It's there! It's right there! It's right there!" The Jeffrey Wright voicing this. It was so fun.
It was so fun. Yeah, he's really
It
having
was
fun
so
with the
fun
character.
hearing. Yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly. And to Joel's point, the emotions coming out, right?
Yeah.
Because he's usually like, "Oh, it's terrible."
He's very
cool.
flat about it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrible, but I've seen it a million times.
Yeah,
Doesn't-
yeah. So it's like he's very chill, cool. Yeah. But here's like, it's right there. It's like, oh,
He
he's
could
gonna.
have just dropped
If
I
the
was
he had
half
hair,
expecting. I was half expecting him to reach out and hit
The head.
Noggin.
He's right there.
What
Come
the
on,
hell are
man.
you doing?
What are you
if-
doing
if-
looking somewhere
I think
else?
if he had hair, he'd be pulling it out.
Ah,
Because
just
it's right there.
frustrated.
Don't give up. You're human. You're not supposed to be giving up.
Exactly.
So it's pretty cool. Those are the likes for me.
So let's go straight to your dislikes. Since you've started off, Paul, might as well continue.
Oh my god.
I mean, there will be a few things that we will be sharing. in the segment
I
as well.
totally hate that they did not get James Spader.
I
to
don't
voice Ultron.
understand how
This
they
this
cannot get.
I am pretty sure
He-
James Spader would make it would be free. It's voice acting. It's not like they had to shoot scenes. This is just
Oh, I have an idea though, because he was shooting Blacklist.
Come
yeah.
on.
But they could just send him the script, right? It's
one
just
episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Sheesh. Two maybe, but I mean,
It's
it would have
so
been done in an
frustrating.
afternoon. It would
Yeah,
have been
it
done
was
in an
so frustrating.
More
Watching
because-
this and hearing that was so bad. I mean,
Ultron-
the actor is probably good, but
It's James Spader, and the guy who was trying, it's the same as the voice actress who was trying to
Lake
become, who was trying to become Pepper Potts,
Oh, Pepper Potts.
right? I forgot who her. And my complaint to her was she was great. She was getting sound, but she was just trying to get that intonation, the inflection. That she came out extremely flat. Obviously, the one for James Spader, for Ultron is a little bit more characterful, but it's just so closely tied to James Spader's voice
yeah.
that even him trying to get some of that, even him trying to do that comedy, that little bit of a quip that he dropped when what was happening. It was towards the end of their fight between Uatu and Ultron, and Ultron actually said a joke. Well, it's not a joke, but he was trying to be funny. But he was trying to be funny in that dry way that Ultron does in the movie, and it just did not work. It
Right.
just did not
Right.
work. It
But
was
what
really-
I have to say though, it started off really bad because you know that they
It
were
was a lot
trying to
worse,
get
yeah.
a James Spader.
because it's so tied to his
sound.
voice.
Yeah, but I do have to say that towards the end of the
It got a
episode,
little bit better.
it improved. There were already those bass notes of the James Spader voice,
Yeah.
which tells you that the actor was really trying to get the James Spader
He
voice.
was. No. Kudos to the actor. Definitely kudos
Yeah.
to the actor. It's
My
that-
thing is, he probably could have done without trying to get the James Spader voice, because essentially this is a totally new character. It's also
Right.
already like the fusion of
It looked
Ultron and
different.
Vision. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, what I would have loved is if they got Paul Bettany to do it.
Oh,
That would have been cool because he
Yeah,
already
so-
voiced in Vision.
So
in
right, so
previous
we have,
episode.
but they would just tell Paul Bettany voice it if Vision was a villain instead of a hero.
right.
But
voice it-
the problem there though is that Paul Bettany's voice is connected to Jarvis.
Right. No, so okay, you're right, because I was thinking of the White Vision in WandaVision, but the White Vision, even though he's stoic and
Emotionless.
outright like emotionless,
soulless.
he still sounds like Jarvis.
Yes.
So he just needs to, I guess, add a little bit more character, because I think what happens is he can voice it that way towards when the Earth gets nuked, but when he gets the Infinity Gems into himself, he has to add a little bit more character. Because I think he becomes more free. Like
What
he
Joel's
elevates.
essentially saying is that it's harder to do that because Jarvis, Paul Bettany's voice is as Jarvis doesn't exist in this Ultron.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Basically,
right, you're right.
the Jarvis protocol was wiped out. Probably.
Right.
Completely overcame Ultron overcame.
Yeah, but if they couldn't get anyone, they could have just told, because Paul
I
Bettany is doing the
know.
voice anyway, right? I mean,
Yeah.
a lot
He was
of-
available to do Vision.
Yeah, exactly. They would have just said, okay, here you're just the villain. You're
Missed
like a badass
opportunity.
villain. Just
Missed
go with
opportunity.
it. And that was really bad. The whole episode, I was like, oh, I can't. It's grating my ears.
And he had so many speaking lines, and you know, as the episode again, super big kudos to the voice actor for actually bringing in as much Ultron into his work as he did. It's just that I kept on hearing. I can hear James saying that line.
And it sounds so much better.
Yeah.
And to think, I think, and I think what we all can agree with is, even if this was a different dimension, different universe, since Ultron is an AI, I would say that across these universes,
It would be the same. Yeah,
It
there.
would be
They
James
should probably,
Spader.
yes.
It would just be James Spader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's him.
All right,
Um,
enough ranting about.
No, you're about to rant for about a few more things too.
Oh yeah, I am because I really hate these things. They're inconsistencies that I really hate. So I think, all right, no, I just cannot accept that Thanos gets sliced like a banana.
I
No,
know.
no way. This
I
is
know.
not acceptable.
But you have to remember that Thanos is organic,
Yeah. Yes, I
and
understand.
it essentially is a soul stone. So right?
No,
the
mind.
mind
It's
stone.
the
So
Mind
it was
Stone.
basically
But it was the
it's an
beam.
infinity
It was the
stone.
beam that, and
Yeah.
you know, Vision's original beam had nothing to do with the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been that powerful. I guess that's one of the
Yeah.
disconnect.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
still, he had 4 gems. He couldn't,
Right.
you know.
He was not fast enough.
Yeah, he couldn't. He couldn't.
He
like,
couldn't. His organic brain wasn't as fast as the synthesoid
Yeah.
brain. I don't know.
No, I can't
They-
accept that.
I
that-
like.
You know how
I like
you
the
just-
fact, I like the fact. I like the fact that it was that Thanos didn't end up being the big bad, but
Yeah.
I hated the fact that he had to go that.
They
way.
had to go
Yeah.
that way, and,
It
they
was just
they spent a scene, couple
Yeah,
of seconds,
just
just
fatality.
fatality.
And what? We didn't see any guts spill out.
No,
because
no,
it's
no.
Disney.
No.
Yeah,
Not
because
enough.
it's Disney,
No, it's
so-
Disney.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's Disney.
Because and it's nothing spilled. This
Yeah.
is flat
No blood.
surfaces.
No blood.
The power of the Mind Stone.
Yeah, clean. It was clean.
Yeah, it
Clean.
cauterized both halves right away.
Yeah, exactly. No chance to spill blood because they're both cauterized.
Cauterized. There you go.
Um,
And your last
yeah,
one.
And my last rant.
This is probably
This is not a
the
dislike. This is a rant. Is that okay. So physics, right? Physics.
Wow,
You're talking about
physics.
Infinity Gems. What are you talking about physics for?
Yeah, but-
and Infinity Stones.
But I think because it should work the same way, right? It should be.
This
it
is
should
it.
Work the same way.
This is it. Because they've established this in Loki.
Yeah.
So why is it...
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
exactly.
Yeah, why didn't they follow that rule?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They're supposed to be paperweight when he crosses out of that dimension.
Maybe it's because they're outside of time. Maybe because the
Yeah,
TVA
that's
is
So
one
in
of
the
the-
in
that's
the
one of the
universal
explanations.
peephole, it works.
Yeah.
But outside the
That's-
universal peephole, it doesn't work.
Because the
But
universal
he was-
people...
One of the explanations I've been getting is that TVA actually exists outside of time and space.
That's it. Yeah.
That's why the stones don't work there, but everything else is still within time, space, and reality.
No, but I understand. But it's been okay.
I would have preferred if they kept to some of these things, or at the very least helped us understand. Maybe they
Yeah.
will eventually.
Because in the comics, right?
Yeah.
If you cross over to a different universe,
Yeah, it doesn't work.
the stones that you bring with you are nothing but paper. No, not they're still powerful, but they're not infinity stones.
Yeah.
They're just
Really
stones that have
strong power,
some sort of power.
Yeah.
And when you throw them at someone, they'll get a
They get a
bump in the
bruise.
head.
Yeah, but yeah, so these things like these inconsistencies really grate at me because it,
Well,
Fantastic.
yeah, the inconsistency that you're saying though is inconsistency with a comic book,
yes,
which they're adapting,
Which is a little bit-
they're
Yeah.
interpreting.
Which is a little bit
Right.
more acceptable. It's just like, from my point of view, they've established something in Loki and then
In
broke
Loki,
it
yes.
in What If. To be fair, What If is all about broken stuff. So, broken timelines and all that. So, I guess, I don't know.
There wasn't just one what if that was answered here.
It's
So
like, what if
it's-
within
it's
the what if?
What if Ultron won, and what if the Infinity Stones
Just
Crossed
worked.
over.
across
Exactly.
universes?
Yeah.
Exactly.
They work. They work.
That's
so might
it.
as well just collect the Infinity Stones in the rest in the other dimensions. Go back and pummel Ultron to the ground.
Hang on to that point. Hang on to that point. Joel.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing, I'm not gonna mention that anymore because we already talked about the voice.
It's a
of
dead
of
horse.
Ultron
Come on.
Vision.
Stop kicking it.
Yeah. And this another I go with an inconsistency, but this is an inconsistency with the storyline as it was told in the movies.
Right.
Because didn't Thanos decimate Sandar to get one of the Infinity Stones?
Yes.
Maybe he just
And then
waltzed in, and it's like, oh wow, they
Yes.
destroyed it for me. I might as well just
No,
grab it.
but then again, he wouldn't have had one of the Infinity Stones.
I meant maybe it's just floating there in space.
Right? So the
Ultron
timeline
just-
doesn't work.
Inconsistencies. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know how they.
Oh, sorry,
how
no,
they-
it's the other way around. So
Yes,
he
exactly.
he had to destroy
He
Xandar
had to
for
destroy Xandar to get one of the
stone.
Which one? The Power Stone.
Power.
The
Power
Stone.
Stone.
So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And here he already had the Power Stone when he got peeled into two.
Yep.
Right. So it's weird.
Okay.
And time.
He already has time. Yes.
He had 5 out of 6.
Yeah, he had 5 out of the 6.
Time
He
was a
already
little
had
bit easier, I guess, because there's no Doctor Strange. He got nuked.
True.
But it's with the
It should have been in Sanctum Sanctorum.
yeah, it's with the
But yeah, it would have been easier for him to go to Sanctum Sanctorum.
Just pick it up, break
the.
the Eye of Agamotto and just,
But there again. There's a lot of stuff that we already. It's because we already have a baseline of how they were obtained.
Yeah.
And
It's just our feeble minds just trying to put things together.
yeah,
Like,
because
why?
you have to be logical because Ultron is logical. What happens has to be logical.
That's
Because
right.
it has to match a couple of things, right? Because
Yeah.
if not, then how did they get it? So basically, Thanos was just waltzing around the universe with 5
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
stones. Like what?
as you should.
So it's like, what if Thanos found it so easy to get all of the stones? So
He
that's
lost
a third
interest.
what if question for this episode. There's a lot of what if questions for this episode,
There you
guys.
go. Yeah.
So now speaking of the stones, they really depowered the stones here.
Mhm.
But this is an inconsistency, but it's an inconsistency with the comic books because in the comic books in Infinity War, Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet so easily defeated the Celestial beings.
Yep.
It was so easy for him to defeat the Celestial beings, but here we were treated to an awesome combat, an awesome fight between Uatu and
Against the
Ultravision.
Watcher, no less. I mean, there are more powerful Celestials.
Yeah. I mean, in the comics, Thanos imprisoned infinity and eternity, the embodiments of time and space.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here he has to pummel Uatu to the ground to.
Maybe he just wants,
A little
Just likes
physical.
doing it.
He
But then
needs
again,
the.
that's not logical.
He needs
That's
the
not a
cardio.
logical thing to do,
For his-
right? So
his
there's a lot
Fitbit.
of inconsistencies. But again, it was a cool combat. It was cool combat. It was a cool battle. But right. So yeah, so there you go. And then one of my dislikes here, rants. I think that we should actually change it from dislikes to rants, or from likes to raves.
Yeah.
So how is this connected
Next
to the
episode, we'll do
previous
that.
episode? Right. So are there several watchers as well? Because in the previous episode, that was the first time that Uatu saw Ultra Vision come through the dimension. So
Yep.
there was a watcher in that dimension as well. I'm supposing. Right. Yeah. Then why didn't the Uatu that was looking through all of the different dimensions go to that Uatu?
Are they
and
all
ask
named
him to help?
Uatu?
No,
No,
Watcher.
that's
No,
a
yeah,
thing.
Uatu is supposedly the watcher
For
who
Earth, for
is
our.
in charge of
For our
of us,
universe.
yeah, no, of 616. Yeah, or wherever a specific universe.
Sorry, for comic book Marvel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
comic book Marvel. So yeah, it was a good episode. It was a nice epic episode. It was just so frustratingly
We're nitpicking.
inconsistent.
For sure, we're just nitpicking. It
No,
stands on.
we're not.
Except for several things that we've agreed is just completely and utterly unacceptable. Not unacceptable.
No, it's
but it's
trash.
just really
This
a
episode
problematic.
is trash.
No. I think it's a pretty good episode. Now,
Yeah, it was epic. It was epic. I love it.
now I'd like to establish. We are on the penultimate episode. One more episode left. I've corrected myself in the comments of the previous episode and said that sorry, it was 10 episodes originally for this season and the second season, but due to supposed scheduling problems, they had to push out one episode from this season two. So instead of 10, we're getting 9. And I kept on thinking that it was I kept on thinking 9 was the
Original.
the ordered number of episodes, and then we pushed out 1, so it became 8. No, it was not wrong. It was 10. 10 minus 1, 9.
So the pushed out episode doesn't affect the end?
I have no idea if the
We have no
episode was
idea.
already written out and stuff like that. You know, it could have
Okay.
been happened. They're blaming COVID. It could have been so many different things. But
RDJ probably was asking for more money.
Oh, he did not voice anything in this episode.
Yeah, so
in
I
this
don't think it's
series.
connected to anything.
So he could not probably ask for it.
Or they're still trying to get Scarlett to actually come in.
Oh no!
No, that's not happening anymore.
Sheesh.
That's a no-go.
That's a no-go. So I don't know what, but that's to clarify. It was supposedly so 9 episodes. So we are down to one more episode, and we already know that there will be an episode wherein several of the characters from the different episodes will be showing up in their own superhero. What do you call that? The Avenger style
shot.
pan shot, right? And for my expectations, for once, I actually decided to put down an expectation. It's not really an expectation because most of this has already been confirmed via the trailers.
Right.
Yeah.
That I'm stealing this from Joel. The Guardians of the Multiverse.
No, but I just stole it from someone.
From somebody else. Well done. We just kept on stealing from everybody else. Will be made up of the following characters from the different episodes. From episode 1, we have Captain Carter. We've already seen this from the trailer. From episode 2, Star-Lord T'Challa for sure, and a little bit of and I think Thanos Gamora. So Thanos Gamora and Thanos armor, because we haven't seen her yet, and that
There are
is
some
the most
people who are saying that that's actually the episode that got
that got cut. Quite possibly, because episode 2 would be a possible point, because this is where we see Thanos, we see Nebula, and they have a very nice father-daughter relationship, but we don't see Gamora, so she may have been the black sheep that ran off and says, no, I'm gonna continue. The universe is scarce in resources, and I'll continue my father's work. Episode 3 will be Captain Marvel. We don't know. I haven't seen her anymore, but I think it'll be Captain Marvel, because everybody else is dead in that episode.
Well, there's still Captain America.
Captain America could be, but you already have Captain Carter. So come
Wouldn't
on,
that be cute if it was Captain Carter and Captain America?
they'll be like
Yeah.
they'll be sort of doing the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You're not the real, fake, but they're not exactly fake. They're not exactly doppelgangers. Episode 4 obviously is Strange Supreme. We already know that. Episode 5. This is very interesting. Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think as a reach, Zombie Thanos. Episode
Zombie
6.
what? Thanos?
Zombie
Thanos.
Because
And
it's related to my
gets
other.
He gets peeled into two as well.
It's like, I've peeled you before. I will peel you again. Episode 6. This is Black Jaguar. This is confirmed. I mean, from the trailer, we can see him there. And then obviously episode 7 is Party 4. We already know that.
Is he
Or-
really Black Jaguar, or are you just
Yeah,
calling
that's,
it?
It's sort of his
No,
moniker.
Okay.
Yeah, some people are calling him that.
But there's no
that
Jaguar
version.
God, right? There's
There
only a
is no
Panther
Jaguar God. No.
Yeah.
We just to differentiate Killmonger from, because a Jaguar
Right.
and a Panther,
Or
Right.
sort of
both black cats. Except
It
the other
should
one has
be
spots.
Gold Panther because he chose the one with the gold trimming, right?
Well, the
But we
Jaguar.
don't call him purple
silver,
Panther.
silver trimming, silver.
Yeah.
And so a couple of reaches there. I think Zombie Thanos might be showing up, because I believe one of the things they will try to do is to gather, since we've proven that the Infinity Stones can work in other multiverses, maybe their gambit will be to try to gather as many Infinity Stones sets.
So every single one of them gets an Infinity Gauntlet.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean,
The
probably-
last episode is trash.
Paul is calling it as early as now. The last episode. is
imagine
gonna
that.
be-
You know, everybody would probably die just because of the amount of power required to actually wield,
Yeah.
When
Could've
they
been
punch,
obliterated the moment.
and
they
then you
do
just
it.
see end credits.
Exactly. One more thing that inspired expectation. Well, it's more of a theory really than an expectation. Is that I think, as part of helping out, Strange Supreme will have some sort of agreement with Uatu.
A bargain?
A
You mean?
bargain. Uatu, I've come to bargain.
But you know, you don't.
Oh,
really
hey, hang on.
bargain with the
Let me
Watcher.
let me complete my thought first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he makes an agreement with Uatu that says, okay, once we're done, right? Once we're done, you let me stay in this multiverse, because the one I left is kind of low, it's kind of small. You know? It's your thank you for letting me help out, and you leave me alone,
Ah.
and that will explain the ongoing theory
Yeah.
that in Spider-Man No Way Home,
That's not strange.
it's not our friendly neighborhood Doctor
Ooh.
Strange. That it's probably
But he didn't have
No.
like eye bags.
you can
Yeah.
just pretty much
And
just,
he didn't have the purple garment, like the different.
We didn't
foods.
see
He's
any,
hiding it underneath his
tentacles showing up and all that. You know, he's
the sweater.
he's the
No.
supreme. Yeah, exactly. He's under the sweater.
Yeah, it's
That's
under
it.
the sweater.
That's it.
All right.
Who else? Joel's got something.
Oh,
He
of
always
course. I'm back with my plausible and reach theories and expectations.
Yeah.
Well, the plausible is, of course, the one that that Arnold just said. The Guardians of the Multiverse is going to be put together. But the difference is that, so in the next episode, they're going to be put together. Watu is going to pluck them from all of the different... Watu and Strange Supreme are going to pluck them from all of the different multiverses. And I think that Strange Supreme is actually going to pose as like the Tony Stark figure for the
Yeah,
Guardians of
yeah.
the
Oh,
Multiverse.
I thought he's gonna pose like Nick Fury. There was
No, that's Watu.
And he
Watu's
does-
gonna be your
he
next
does
The
this-
hero.
bald guy.
he gets
Watu's
the
bald.
speech.
Nick Fury's bald.
He's just gonna put
He
on
does
a,
a speech,
a
right?
patch.
and Strange
So-
has the
The
and
whole,
RDJ
yeah.
has the yeah.
Yeah.
It works. It
Yeah,
works.
because you
Fits.
do see in the trailers, you do see like Strange Supreme is the one taking the lead, and then Party Thor comes up behind him. Ooh.
Yeah.
And I think that also informs your theory, Arnold, that a zombie is going to be part of the
Yeah,
battle.
I know.
Because zombie Thor, Party Thor actually says zombies.
That's fun.
Actually, yes, that's
Something
fun.
like
That's
that.
fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Right, so
I think
zombies
they're
are
there
going
to
to
pick
figure.
up Peter.
Probably, yeah, but yeah. So I think that's the role that Strange Supreme is gonna play, and they're gonna try and fight Ultravision, but they just narrowly escape his wrath. But they hop from one universe to another as Ultravision continues to decimate universe after universe. So actually, I think
Cliffhanger.
the next episode is gonna start where episode 7 left off.
Correct. Yes.
They
arrive in Party
Ultravision
Thor's
comes
universe.
in, and then you see Strange Supreme come in as well, pluck Party Thor out from there. They go back. So from episode 7, they go to episode 6, go to episode.
That's how they get. That's how they do the roundup.
dimension hopping.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Ultron keeps on following them. Probably Strange was probably already there, right? So they do that, and they just keep on escaping the wrath of Ultravision. I don't know if they're gonna win. I hope that because if they are gonna win, then what is season 2 gonna be about? I hope
Something different. I hope. I don't want this to be an ongoing thing.
Can mean the same
yeah, but
thing.
I mean, there is that one episode that got pushed to the second season,
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it probably should affect that as well. So yes, so there. So that's the plausible, the more plausible, the reach. Here's the reach.
This is probably
our
what
reach.
season 2 will be for.
Yeah. So actually, not just season 2, but I do think that Ultravision. There is a possibility that Ultravision is gonna be the big bad for Phase 4. So I'm letting go a little bit of my Kang for Phase 4, all big bad. theory. I'm going with Ultravision because he's shown to be like a really big bad. But I do think that Kang is still going to figure in Phase 4. So it's going to be Ultravision, Kang, and Annihilus. Annihilus is finally going to come into the MCU, and they're going to duke it out, and evil defeats evil, and the heroes are left wondering what the hell they were there for, surviving only by the skin of their teeth.
They're just going to be sitting watching.
Too, yeah, you have to also remember that there have been reports that Captain Carter might actually make it to the MCU. You have to also remember that they've been building up a new type of Avengers, a young Avengers.
Yep.
And none of the young Avengers would be able to defeat a big bad the size of
Ultravision. Oh, definitely not.
Right. So it's gonna be something like that. It's gonna be something about hope in the face of huge adversity. Right. So, that's my reach. We're not just gonna get one big bad. We're gonna get 3 big bads.
Gosh. Okay.
I think that Marvel needs to shake things up. They need to shake things up. It can't be formula anymore. They have to redo the formula.
Not too much because
The formula's been
billions.
it's been working for the past 10 years. What are you talking about?
But yeah, shaking
It's
things up
getting
is
boring.
good also.
It is boring.
Black Widow got boring. It was the same formula.
Yep.
Right?
I think we're only bored. Oh, that's a different conversation altogether. Go watch those episodes back. There were a couple of episodes we've talked about Black Widow at length. So feel free to go back to that. But Paul, do we have anything?
Okay, so my I have to disagree with the 3 bad guys. Well, that's a reach, so I don't have to disagree. I mean, I really think it's a reach. That's too much. For the characters they do pick up, I have a feeling that when they do get to zombie world, so I'll call it zombie land, zombie world, that they're gonna be picking up 2 people, Spider-Man, and I'm probably
Don't tell me
hoping,
Scott Lang.
No, Vision. Vision is, because I have a feeling Vision is still alive in that world.
There
But
was
he
no indication
took
that
out the stone.
Yeah, he
from
plucked his stone.
He sacrificed himself.
You're right.
Exactly.
I'm not remembering it correctly. Oh, then Hulk.
Hulk is probable.
Hulk
and even Bucky is
and-
probable.
Yes.
Right.
Zombie Wanda for sure is still awake.
Probably Strange Supreme can, because of his power, can probably control the
inhibit-
zombie horde.
Inhibit the effects.
Think of that. He'll control the
hunger.
zombie horde and just fling the whole thing at Ultra.
And no, he'll not. He won't control the zombie horde. He'll absorb the zombie horde into himself.
Unfortunately, I don't think that can work because they're not magical beings.
Exactly, they're not.
Oh,
magical.
true.
But he can absorb Wanda probably.
That's true.
True.
Anyway, moving on.
He gains a tiara afterwards.
He has a his hair goes up like that.
Yeah.
I like the reach of Annihilus because I love the character. But I believe he is coming. But that's because Fantastic Four is coming. And Fantastic Four carries with them the negative zone where Annihilus comes from. So yes, I believe it's possible, but it's not probably going to be for Phase 4.
I just realized that Annihilus looks a lot like Ultron.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
but he's just got that
he's-
pill in for a bow tie, and he's got wings.
He's a cockroach, right? Or a locust. Sorry, he's a locust.
Yeah, he's a locust. He's green and purple.
Hopefully, because what I believe will happen is that Fantastic Four comes in at the last movie of Phase 4, which kicks off Phase 5. So you'll probably see Annihilus 5 or
Set it up.
Phase 5.
Set up.
Yeah.
But
Five or six.
but isn't it like Phase 4? Fantastic Four.
I know.
The poetry
The play
is
on
there.
words. We have to have the
Yeah.
play on words. Because how
Wow,
else will
ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
How else will they take advantage of the potential marketing? The joy that
Yeah.
is the marketing strategy for.
Yeah, because
For
they already sort
everywhere.
of did that
Gosh.
with
With the trailer in.
no, even with Spider-Man, right? Remember that ending? We 1, 2, 3, 4. What's next?
Right.
And it was a blue 4,
It was a blue 4, yes.
with a white
With a
circle,
circle
and then with a blue. They were really alluding to it that in Phase 4, Fantastic Four is going to be front and center.
There you go. Annihilus coming to our big screens.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't know. But it's
Wow.
gonna be at the end, so it's probably going to be a next phase.
Oh yeah.
The last thing though, I want to see, and this is probably my reach, is probably a animated Loki TVA.
What the days and times of Loki while he's just
No,
busy
like
dicking
porting in, and trying to help the team. This is just trying to fix like events, right?
So part of What If?
Yes, as part of What If. He
That's what
shows
I've
up.
been waiting for. I've been waiting for Loki to show up, but it
Like
hasn't
Loki
happened.
with the TVA jacket.
Yeah. Agent,
With the what do you have?
a variant.
The variant.
Variant, yeah.
And then Owen Wilson with
Mobius.
him. They're trying to help Mobius, trying to help the team, the Guardians of the Multiverse against
What are they gonna do? Good.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
Yeah.
Mobius is probably there to just list out all of the possible infarctions, but
He'll throw a jet ski. He'll throw a jet ski.
man, we were hoping for a jet ski What If
He'll
episode.
throw a
for-
jet ski.
It hasn't happened. But that is it for tonight's show. Thank you again to Paul and
Tonight's
Joel
rant.
for
Rants and
sharing
raves.
thoughts, impressions, rants, and theories on this episode of What If. It is the second to the last episode, so we still have one more opportunity to see what if. I ask you, dear audience, how would you have retold this particular story? I don't know if there's any other way for you to tell this one as well.
There is.
Pretty well
Use
done.
James Spader.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
true. Next time, we continue traveling through the multiverse for one last time, I guess, for this season. Reliving the familiar as new variant stories. It's a continuation of this particular variant story, though. It's a change of pace.
So it's
This is
not
a
you, it's not
two-parter.
you.
It's a two-parter. What changes to key MCU events are you still waiting to see? I think you've run out of time. But we can always hope for the next season, wherever that one lands. As always, dear audience, we hope you tune in next time and continue to hang out with us. Till then, bye.
Bye.